Hello, everyone. This is Connie King with the Black America Resource Directory, and we are here today with the Sapp Team. If you receive our newsletter, if you're one of the 1,500 people that receive our newsletter, then you would see that the Sapp Team is always there giving us tips about reverse mortgages and loans and home buyers and so on and so forth. And we even had the opportunity. The reason why we're sitting here today is because 19 years ago, the SAP team helped me get my loan as a first-time home buyer. And Brian, I just want to say thank you. And so now Brian and his daughter is the SAP team, in which we've also invited Tatiana, who is part of the SAP team, to share information with my son for him and his wife now to be able to purchase a home. So we're always connected. We're like kindred spirits, right,
That's
Brian?
right. That's right.
So it's an honor and a pleasure to have invited Brian, the SAP team, to have a discussion about reverse mortgage. And if you were like I was, not having all the full knowledge of how it would benefit me as I aged or as I built equity in the house. And that's why we're here today, is to make sure that we're providing our audience with information that we are knowing and confident that will help you as well. So, Brian, take it away.
Well, just want to say hi, everybody. My name is Brian Sapp, and I'm here on behalf of the Sapp team, which is Tatiana Sapp and myself. And Connie, it's funny that you said 19 years ago, because it just lets us know
Yes.
how far we've come. But also, 19 years ago, completed my first reverse mortgage. Okay, and that was with,
Wow.
yeah, that was with one of my best friends on the street I grew up on. And so it's just interesting how far we've come, how far reverse mortgages have come. We got lots of great information for people who are maybe about to enter retirement and that need these options. I mean, a lot of people have investments, 401ks, but many seniors have just their home. Okay, so it's really important that they get a good idea of what they can do with their home, especially if they plan to live and live out their retirement in their place.
Brian, let me ask you a question because I'm going to ask you a two-part question. One, reverse mortgage, I understand that the name has now changed. It's referred to as home equity or another phrase, another terminology. Is that correct?
Well, actually, it's still the same. We started off reverse mortgages started with Wells Fargo, and they started that mortgage product through FHA, or Housing and Urban Development. So the original name of the FHA's reverse mortgage is the Home Equity Conversion Mortgage, or HECM. See,
Okay.
okay, so that's always been the same, but obviously the reverse mortgage name is caught on, and everybody just uses it for a variety of the reverse mortgage products across the board. So, but HECM
Okay.
is the FHA version and the most popular version of the reverse mortgage.
Okay. Now, when I talk about reverse mortgage with my
Mhm.
friends, family, churchgoers, or whomever,
Yeah.
they have a stigma
Mm.
about the reverse mortgage because one, I think that is just they're just not fully aware of all of the advantages
Right.
that reverse mortgages can
Mhm.
offer to them. And I think 20 years ago, it may have not been as popular as it is as
Mhm.
of today, because now more and more people, do we have an approximate number, or do we know about how many people, especially in the state of California,
Mm.
maybe do you guys get those kind of stats, or is
You
there
know what?
some
I'm sure we do
find
get
out
those
about those
stats.
stats?
Yeah, I'm sure we do get those stats, and now that you mentioned, I never actually personally thought about it myself, but I'm curious now that it's kind of like we have I guess, a measurement to work by. You said 19 years, so maybe over the last 20 years. I'll see if I can find that out for you. But I can tell you one thing: 19 years ago, uh, reverse mortgages were just becoming popular. However, it was a lot more stigma then, but added to that, there were less protections at the time. Okay, so there's a
Okay.
lot of things have changed over the times now that's made it even more popular. And even now, the higher income brackets are using reverse mortgages, not just for the fact that they remove the monthly mortgage payment, but they're also able to avoid having to withdraw from their investment portfolios when investment returns are not as good. So using a reverse mortgage fills a gap. So a lot of different things have changed since that time. But I'll find out for you about the numbers.
Okay. One of the things that I'm 60 something, years of age, okay.
I'm
Mama said everybody don't tell their age, but I'm
I'm
in a
right with you.
position now where I'm starting to look in terms of long-term care.
Yeah.
As I indicated, I have a son and he's married. But
Mhm.
if I get to a point where I'm unable to take care of myself, then I am looking or exploring like long-term health care options where it would give me the ability to stay in my home or go
Right.
to maybe a nicer facility. I understand in talking again to some of the individuals, they were able to utilize the reverse mortgage program, um, take money, if and you have to correct me if I'm wrong, take
Mhm.
the equity out for the reverse mortgage and then help their loved ones while they were in a position where they needed some assistance. My question to you is,
Mhm.
as a person that's aging, how would a reverse mortgage benefit me, and what uh, type of advantages would I be able to take if I'm looking to tuck some money away or make sure that I can hire
Mhm.
an in-home care person or,
Right.
something of that nature?
Mhm. Well, that is a great question, and it's kind of a multifaceted question too, because this explains the reason why people should have retirement conversations early, and they should also include maybe reverse mortgages in that conversation, because what you just described is you're looking for different options, okay? And it's important depending on which way you go, retirement home or having in-home care determines if you could even use a reverse mortgage. Because if you go to
Mhm.
live in long-term care, you would not be able to qualify for a reverse mortgage. Okay. However, if you determine you're going to stay in your home during retirement and have someone come in to take care of you, then that makes it more possible right there. Because those are some of the details about how you qualify for mortgage. So,
So I'm sorry, let me understand. You
mhm.
just said that if you go to a facility, the reverse mortgage wouldn't benefit you because would a reverse mortgage require you to remain in your home? Is that the
Yes, it
reason why?
would. Yes, it
Okay,
would. But
okay.
here's an interesting thing about that. Okay, say you already had a reverse mortgage. You're in your home. You've been
Mhm,
in your home for a few years. You've been benefiting from that reverse mortgage. No monthly mortgage payment. Maybe you fix up your home and you're getting some income, monthly from that reverse mortgage. Um, you have um, you have either a physical or mental impairment where you need to go into care of a hospital for a while.
mhm.
Okay, so this may be 6 months, 8 months. That is possible under a reverse mortgage.
Okay,
One of the
okay.
terms of keeping the terms of a reverse mortgage is that you must live in your primary home. Now um, you can go to a hospital. You can even go on trips, things like that. However, you must be able to come back to your home. In other words, if you stay away from your home more than 12 consecutive months, that could trigger the I guess the call on the loan or having to be required to pay it off. Or in worst
Now
case,
that
it could become a foreclosure.
So would it matter if you had multiple homes, or is this just like on your primary resident, wherever you designate your primary resident? So if I have a home in Alaska and like some of our
Mhm.
snowbirds,
Right.
they can only be here 6 months out of the year. So would
Certainly,
they
yes.
be able to take advantage of the reverse mortgage?
Yes, and that's a great question because in my personal situation, that's kind of how I see it. You would be, say you had a second home, and I'll back up with second homes. You can qualify for a reverse mortgage for your primary home. You could even
Okay.
you could even buy another home with a reverse mortgage. However, to have that second home, you have to prove that you're able to keep up with the maintenance of that home or any payments or anything like that with that home. So if you can show that you can handle the maintenance on your primary residence as well as your secondary residence, it won't be a problem at all. So I see a scenario where you're at home during, say, for a period of time during the year, and then maybe you take 3 or 4 months to go to your other home. Shouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay. Is there an age requirement? Is there a minimum or a maximum age requirement that's associated with the reverse mortgage?
Huh. Minimum age now, there's the FHA's version of the reverse mortgage, the HECM, and then there's proprietary or private lenders who offer reverse mortgages. When it comes to the private or proprietary lenders, you can be as young as 55 years old plus. With FHA's version, it's 62 years plus. There's not an actual ceiling to the age, but just in real world facts, and this is where family comes in. The older a person gets, it's a little bit harder for them to understand. So it's a different product than the traditional, and that can be hard enough by itself. So that probably determines the upper limits of what the age is. But there's actually, I want to say, uh, I would want to go check, but I want to say the age could be as high as 150 years old. And that's just
Okay.
for a requirement. And that also talks about the length of how a loan can go as well. But there's no actual determined top age.
So in order to qualify for a reverse mortgage, is it triggered by the amount of equity that you have or the balance of your loan that you have in the
Okay.
house?
Well, it would be your residence, the fact that it's a primary residence, then it's sufficient equity, okay, right there, and then your age to determine how much you can get from that equity. So it'd be
Okay.
all three of those, and then determining if you've been able to keep up with the maintenance and ongoing charges like taxes and insurance on your home. If they find that you've been having problems with that, it doesn't necessarily disqualify you from a reverse mortgage, but they may have to set aside some of that equity that you have in your home to ensure that taxes and insurance are paid for it. And that can determine if there's enough money for you to benefit from a reverse mortgage.
Well, I know a friend of mine had moved into a retirement community
Mhm.
and she had a home in San Diego. She sold her home in San Diego for X amount of dollars,
Mhm.
and she paid cash for her new home in the retirement community, but she only paid half of it, and the other half she did a reverse mortgage on. So that
Mhm.
means now her house is paid for, and it's cleared because she took X amount of dollars that she got from the sale, paid that portion, I guess half, and then the
Mhm.
other half she did a reverse mortgage on it, and now she has no payment. I've never
Mhm.
heard of that before. Is that something that people need to know about if they're
Definitely.
moving
It's
into a
we
retirement community or purchasing a home?
Yes, it's, people definitely need to know about this newer feature. It's been, I want to say about 10 years now, but it's an excellent feature of the FHA's version of the reverse mortgage, the HECM. In fact, the purchase plan is called the HECM for purchase or H4P. Okay, she sold her home. She cashed out on her equity, got X amount of dollars. She was use a substantial amount of it as a down payment on the next home, and used a reverse mortgage for the other half of it, depending on her age and how much they were able to give her based on the value of that new home. Now, she has no monthly mortgage payment. She still has
Okay.
some cash from her prior property now as
Mhm.
savings. Um, I don't know for sure if she had a fixed rate or an adjustable rate. If it's a fixed rate, then she just got that one disbursement of cash basically to allow her to have the home. But if it's an adjustable rate, depending on her equity, she may also have a monthly payment that they're giving her and also a line of credit. Okay, that's one of the great features about the reverse mortgage. With fixed has one option, adjustable rates has several options of how you can receive your cash. Now, one thing I just want to
No,
make
go
sure
ahead.
you understand, it's not that she doesn't have a balance. She doesn't have a payment, but from the time she starts on that home, she's going to have a balance building up on the property as it goes. As they now, she may already have it because they gave her the disbursement for the other half of the home sales,
Mm.
or that they are not only give her money for the home sale, but also that she may have a line of credit or monthly payments that they're giving her. So she will have a balance. She just doesn't have a monthly mortgage payment.
Well, you will probably be getting a lot of questions from this podcast here, Mr.
Okay.
Brian, because I
Yes.
know that people are going to be just like me and trying to figure out what did he just say? Okay. But let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you this question. In that particular scenario, would she be able to, if something happens to her, unfortunately, would this whole process affect her heirs in any kind of way, or does it not have any kind of impact based on, uh, how she handled the reverse mortgage portion of it?
Right. Great question. And this is why we advise that if there's someone who's looking at retirement and they have heirs, possible heirs, they should come to the meeting. And not only should they come to the meeting with us, they should also go to the reverse mortgage counseling that's required before you even start an actual application for it. So
Okay.
it would affect the heirs only in the fact that there would be a balance on the property and that it would need to be paid off, obviously, or they can refinance or whatever it is. So whatever equity is left over from that time, then the heir would benefit from. Okay. Let's see here. Also, if they wanted to keep the balance down, there's no required monthly payments, but you can still make payments. You can make interest payments. You can
Okay.
make total payments if you want. Also, maybe you can get together with your heirs with an insurance policy to maybe take care of most of that balance or all the balance when you pass on. That might make it even easier. So there's several different
If
ways.
you want to, oh,
Oh, I was just going to say
I'm
there's
sorry. If
several
you want
different
to
ways
sell
that
the
you can
house, how
handle.
would that work?
And if you, oh, okay. And
You
if
want
you
to
want
sell.
I see. If you wanted to sell, no problem. Matter of fact, just because you have a reverse mortgage, you can still sell it to whoever you want to.
Okay.
Whenever you want to, whatever that is. So you have full control of your property. Okay, it's just that you have to live in it, take care of the ongoing charges, taxes, insurance, and everything like that. But if you pass on, it would be important to have a trust, for your family, and then they could like to sell it if they like.
Well, this is what I'd like to say. I want to say thank you, Brian. This is the first of the series that we're co-partnering with to bring the information to the community. The
Hmm.
Black America Resource Directory, we list resources
Yeah.
that will benefit and help uplift the community.
Hmm.
And what greater resource that we can have listed on our directory other than the Sapp team? Because sometimes we don't think that we need it right now, that is right around the corner, in essence. But a year ago, I was not thinking about healthcare or long-term healthcare. And as
Right.
I was talking to Brian and Tatiana, I'm like, okay, hey, I'm this age. I have a couple of more years. I do have some health
Hmm.
conditions, and this would be something that would give me some satisfaction in knowing that I can pursue this particular route.
Right.
And I know on our next podcast, we're going to even do a little deeper dive into it because as a result of this, we're going to have questions. And
Oh, for
Brian
sure.
will also be um, participating in an event that we have next month out in
Hmm.
Banning. And
Yeah.
we're hoping that we can utilize come to your church, come to your schools, come to your community centers, and share this information because it is so valuable. And sometimes it may take one or two times to kind of get it. and it may take a couple of more questions to understand it. And that's what we want through the
Mm.
Black America's Resource Directory. And that's the reason why we partnered with the Sapp team, because, hey, we can vouch for them. I'm 19 years, I'm still in my house. I can call them when I have a question about the
Yeah.
changes in the rates and loans, and if I should, sell, if I should buy another, if I should rent, what should I do? So they're always there to answer the questions.
Well, Connie, you're exactly right because in the Black community there are um, there's a lot of people who've lived in their community, not just the Black community, a lot of communities where a lot of people, seniors, have lived in their homes for 40, 50 years. Okay. And it's hard for them to get used to the fact of either financing or retirement conversations. And I believe that since it's all so hard to have, and this has happened personally, in my family, that when you bring up that retirement conversation with your parents or your spouse, whatever it may be, maybe you want to bring in this reverse mortgage conversation at the same time because it's hard to get back to it. So it'd be good to have everybody have this knowledge, which should be common, so that they can include this when they're talking to their loved ones. So, but if you have any specific questions, the SAP team, we're part of the C2 Financial. We're one of the largest mortgage brokers in the United States. And Tatiana Sapp and myself, Brian Sapp, we're part of the SAP team. We're here in Southern California and we service all of California, by the way. And if you want to reach us, it's 866-812-8192, or you can reach us by email at info@thesappteam.com, or you can go online to get more information, including a reverse mortgage guide at www.thesappteam.com. Thank you very much, Connie. I really appreciate being here.